Its followers prefer to call it Sanatana Dharma, the eternal way. But in the Western world, it is known as Hinduism. It's the world's third largest religion, with over 800 million believers. The vast majority of Hindus live in India, a country of over 1 billion people. Hinduism evolved over a long period of time and over a large territory, covering many cultural and ethnic groups. As a result, Hinduism is a mixture of many different religious traditions. Hinduism's rich and varied history has conceived a vibrant community of followers, loosely tied together by a similar outlook on life. The word Hindu means people living near the Indus River and was used by the Europeans in the 19th century to describe the many different religious practices of the people of India. The roots of Hinduism can be traced back to the Indus Valley civilization that flourished around the river Indus some 4,000 years ago. The Indus Valley civilization was located in a region that is now modern-day Pakistan. The gods that were worshipped at this time were nature gods, and the chief deity was Indra, the god of the weather. Another important nature god was Agni, the god of the divine fire. Over time, they were succeeded by other gods, such as the Trinity of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. Other popular deities are Ganesh, the god of wisdom and good luck, and Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Even though there are many deities in Hinduism, they are all looked upon as different aspects of the one God, Brahman. According to Hindu scriptures, Brahman is a spirit that cannot be seen or heard. Hindus believe that some of their gods appear on earth in human form as an avatar. Vishnu, the preserver, is said to descend from heaven and appear as a human being to save the world from evil. For the protection of the good, for the destruction of the wicked, and for the establishment of righteousness, I come into being from age to age. Most Hindu scholars agree that the last 3 avatars to appear on earth were Rama, Krishna, and Buddha. Kalki, the 10th and final avatar, is expected to arrive at the end of a dark age. Krishna, the 8th incarnation of Vishnu, was born in Mathura, North India, some 5,000 years ago. Thousands of pilgrims visit this holy place each year. The main temple at Mathura is dedicated to Krishna. The walls of the temple are covered in pictures depicting Krishna's life. Krishna was handsome and played the flute. All of the milkmaids fell in love with him. but nobody loved him as much as Radha. She is holding a lotus flower, a symbol of purity and holiness. Hindus express their love for Krishna through dance. The story of the life of Krishna is a common theme of Indian performance arts. Unlike many other religions, Hinduism is not based on any one particular book or text. Instead, there is an extensive body of literature dating back thousands of years, from which Hinduism evolved. The earliest Hindu scriptures are called the Vedas, which means knowledge. Originating from the Vedas were a series of texts called the Upanishads. The word means sitting down near, implying sitting near a teacher to receive instruction. The epic poems, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, have had a huge influence on Indian culture and society. The Ramayana contains the story of how Rama rescued his wife Sita from an evil king. The Mahabharata is an epic tale of two warring factions of a family and their struggle to rule an ancient kingdom. The most important part of the Mahabharata is the holy book, the Bhagavad Gita. It is read more than any other Hindu scripture and uses the story of a famous battle as a metaphor for attaining spiritual perfection. Therefore dedicate thyself to thy work, with no thought as to its reward. For by working with no thought of reward, one attains to the Supreme. Many Eastern religions and philosophies teach people to follow the conduct of the Dharma. The Dharma is the natural law that gives harmony and balance to the universe. For Hindus, to live according to the Dharma means doing one's duty and living a virtuous life. The concept of Dharma is explained in the Hindu scriptures. One should never do that to another which one regards as injurious to one's own self. This, in brief, is the rule of Dharma. The goal for all Hindus is to be united with Brahman at their hour of death. Every time someone dies, their soul is said to enter a newly born body. This is reincarnation. The word reincarnation means to be made flesh again. This will happen again and again until the soul has become free of all attachments and achieves moksha, or liberation. The next incarnation is always dependent on how the previous life was lived. What we do now will affect our next life, and what happens to us in this life, good or bad, is the result of our actions in an earlier life. This is called the law of karma, or the law of action, and it has a huge influence on how Hindus live their lives. Pilgrimage, the journey to a holy site, is a common practice in Hinduism. One popular destination is Varanasi, a city said to have been founded by Lord Shiva. Varanasi is located in the northern province of India. It lies on the banks of the river Ganges. Each year, millions of Hindus flock to the city. The pilgrims come to pray, perform rituals, and bathe in the Ganges River. A bath in this holy river is said to purify the soul. Hindus worship in a number of ways. Idol worship is very common. Hindus pray and give offerings to an image or a statue of a particular god. This can take place in a temple or in a shrine at home. Hindus also worship through yoga as part of their journey to attain moksha. Om is the most recognizable symbol of Hinduism. Each prayer begins and ends with this sacred syllable. It is believed to be the first sound of the universe. Yoga is a form of training the Hindus use to break free from the cycle of reincarnation. These people are practicing Hatha Yoga. The aim is to get control over one's mind by adopting various physical postures and performing breathing exercises. Bhakti Yoga is the path of worship. The devotee meditates by visualization. He imagines that Lord Krishna himself is sat before him. The concept of Bhakti Yoga was conceived by Krishna and documented in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna encouraged his followers to use prayers to express their love for him. Karma Yoga is the path of right actions. By leading a life of selfless service, the person grows spiritually. The Hindu house of worship is called a mandir, which means house of the deity. It is custom for devotees to bring offerings for the gods, such as food, incense, or flowers. Shoes are removed before entering the mandir. A mandir can be dedicated to different Hindu deities. This particular one is dedicated to Vishnu. The values of family life are very important in Hinduism. Maintaining strong family ties and supporting members of the extended family is seen as a way of following one's dharma. Jagdish lives in Lucknow in North India. He greets his parents by touching their feet as a sign of respect. The grandparents live with the family. The joint family, which usually consists of 3 or 4 generations living together, is the basic building block of Hindu society. Most Hindus are vegetarians. They believe it's wrong to kill animals for food, especially cows, which are considered holy. Hindu homes have a shrine where the family pray to their favourite gods and goddesses. Here the goddess Durga is being worshipped. She sits on the back of a tiger and fights evil spirits.
Namaste.
Since there are so many gods and goddesses in Hinduism, it follows that there are many festivals to celebrate. In early March, Hindus celebrate a lively festival called Holi, where people throw coloured powder over each other. This custom goes all the way back to Krishna, who once threw coloured powder over Radha and her friends. One of the biggest Hindu festivals is Diwali, which means row of lights. It usually takes place in autumn and lasts for 5 days. Every year, the Hindu community of London celebrate Diwali with a large festival in Trafalgar Square. Diwali is celebrated to commemorate the joyous time when Rama returned from exile with his wife Sita and his faithful brother Lakshman. Another feature of Diwali is to welcome Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, into the home. Maya and his sister are making rangoli decorations at the entrance of their home in London to invite Lakshmi to enter. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. As part of Diwali, Hindu families prepare traditional dishes, which are given as offerings at the temple. The sweets that Maya and his sister made are placed on the altar alongside other donations. Maya and his father take part in a prayer ceremony called Aarti. Lights are an important part of Hindu devotions, especially at Diwali. The light represents the spiritual light, the light that all Hindus long to attain. Lead me out of unreality to reality, out of the darkness into the light, from death to immortality. Diwali is also the time when Hindus celebrate the coming of the new year. A huge firework display marks the end of the festival. As well as being the oldest, Hinduism is perhaps the most complex and diverse of all the major religions. It doesn't have a single founder. The observation of holy rituals varies greatly amongst its followers, yet it shares many similar beliefs to other Eastern religions. This makes it very difficult to define. Perhaps the best way to define Hinduism is to look at the term Hindus themselves use to refer to it: Sanatana Dharma, the eternal way.